Blog Talk Radio.
It seems like I got nothing to do. Hit up SimFBall Radio. I'm listening to one of the top podcasts, and they bringing you the real. And when they talk sports, it feels like you want to feel. From real talk to real sports, from Madden to 2K. Just listen for one day. They'll grab you and you'll say it's on the net, man. Turn off your stereo, not music. I mess with SimFBall Radio.
Welcome back, Sim Standard Radio listeners, Sim community, Sim gamers. Welcome back, man. It's a lot to talk about tonight, and it's funny because we only have basically one topic. I know most of you guys already know what that's about. But yeah, man, we're glad to be back to do another show. We're going to dive into, the obvious, but we'll still go over the few topics that we do have for tonight. But first and foremost, we're going to thank Jive Turkey for the great intro. We appreciate that. And we're going to go around and see how everybody's doing. Guys, for the last two shows, I'm still testing out a mic. I got cut off a little earlier before the show started. So if you hear me cut out or if you hear some echoing or what have you, let us know. I'll call back in on the line. I'm just trying to, get hands free. I'm trying not to have the phone in hand if I don't have to. But anyway, man, let's go around, see how everybody's doing so we can dive into the topic. Going on, Smitty? I don't know what's going on out there with you, man, but the snow is killing me over here, man. So how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man. Ain't no snow over here, but a few days ago, we had a mix with freezing rain and snow. So it was like everything was real glazed over. So I couldn't even make it into work because it was so bad out there. But no, man, other than that, it's just been cold. But, it's warm by winter standards. So, we had like a good, 20, 30 degrees maybe. But that's really about it, though. Other than that, it's just been cold out here. So I could tolerate that over, having to deal with more snow. So, but otherwise, outside of the weather tip, though, ready to talk about this hot topic. There's a lot of buzz around it, a lot of potential around it. I know some people want to downplay it, and others want to be, what my man VF likes to call the DCPD, for Damage Control Police Department, if you don't know what that means. But it's whatever, man. Like, look, all it is speculation, but there is some credibility to some of this speculation. And we're going to definitely dive into that. So that's what I'm really looking forward to, swan diving into this.
Yeah, man, absolutely. We're definitely going to do that. So without further ado, let's check on a man, Azure Effect out there. And I know y'all was dealing with some snow as well, but y'all actually brought it my way, man. So other than that, what's going on out there?
Yeah, it finally, kind of role reversal. Although I'm pretty sure y'all got way more snow than we did, but snowed in once again, man. 2 more days off of work for your boy AZ before spring break even starts. So yeah, it's been one of those winters, man. We've dodged some bad weather, but at the same time, just seems like it's all just hit at once, man. But ready to dive into this information. I don't know what you want to call it, man. Speculation, rumors, hype train, all this kind of stuff. It's just, hey, man, it's that time of year, man. When stuff dies down, football, as far as it not being on every Sunday and news starts coming out, free agency and all this kind of stuff, there's still some news left out there, man. So I'm pretty sure we'll touch on the LaShawn McCoy thing and at one point with Chip Kelly trying to build the Philadelphia Ducks out of the Eagles as well, trying to get all his old players and stuff. So I don't know, man. Ready to jump into this news and just news in general.
Yeah, that's funny, man. I didn't even realize how many players he actually had from Oregon. So that's very interesting. But yeah, we'll try to get into that, man, as well. If we have some time afterwards. The only reason why we say that, guys, is I know what y'all want to hear. So we're going to try to dive into the topic as soon as possible so we can open up the calls, because I know we got people who want to comment and ask questions. As far as me, I'm doing pretty good, man. Just like Azure today, I had a day off from work. With the weather lady, she said we were going to get possibly a coating. And last time I checked, I took a 12-inch ruler and it disappeared. So we have over a foot of snow. It's funny to me that it always happens in March. I tell people all the time, man, it seems like we always get one snow that causes a problem in March. That's funny to me. But anyway, man, other than that, we're doing good, and we're going to dive in, man. So, of course, you guys know what we're talking about. It's Joe Montana NFL Football 16, and it's funny by me even saying that name because that's what was told in this post. And what we're actually going to do, we're going to actually read the post. Azure definitely wants to do that. So we're happy for him doing that because we know some of you guys may not have even seen it. So, it's only right for us, I guess, to read it and being able to break down certain segments of it because there's a lot of stuff that people may have missed, as far as connecting the dots. But basically, we're just going to talk about it. We're going to give you our reaction. We'll let you know how we feel about who posted it since it's a mystery. What was said, what seemed to be true, what seems to be false. Do we believe it? Do we don't? Anything you can think about, we're going to dive into that. And then after that, and probably along with that, the second topic will be, Madden 16 versus possible competition. What does this mean? If this is a real game, and it's really on a console and it's really a good game and it blows the doors off of Madden like was suggested in the post, what does this mean for Madden? And I think what we're going to kind of talk about, just to give you a preview, is looking at it from the other side. A lot of people out here in the community, they're just trying to be one way or the other way. But people are kind of forgetting what we are about. We have always been about competition and more than one product. So this could only mean good things for both Madden and any other company that makes the game. Because guess what? Like we always tell y'all, it's beyond the developer. It has to go to other people that make decisions that need to feel pressure that will allow this game to get pushed even further. So that's kind of how we're looking at it. But we'll talk about that as well as we explain everything. And, without further ado, I guess we'll go ahead and jump into it. So, AZ, man, if you want to go ahead and bless everyone with the reading of the post, feel free. I guess after that, if you want to reflect on it, then throw it to me or throw it to Smitty. We could do it like that. Or, if we want to start off with Smitty and just keep our normal rotation, whichever way works for you.
What we'll do is I'll read it and then I'll throw it to you. You can throw it to Smitty and come back around to me because after I read it, I'm pretty sure that I'll want to go back and just, after hearing what y'all say as well, expound on it some more. So, all right, man. For those of you all who do not know, this thread is on OperationSports.com, and the thread is called Joe Montana Football 16, a mysterious game remains under wraps. And the post that you want to go to is post number 94 in that thread. And what's funny is it's a mysterious poster. If I believe right, Smitty told me this was his first post on OS. So whoever this person is, who will not divulge, any information about his identity, he came on Operation Sports after seeing information about the game just being, I guess, hit back and forth in the community. And he decided he wanted to make a post. So without further ado, I'm just going to read the post to you, and we're going to break it down and expound upon it. All right, here it goes. It says, I'm sorry, but I cannot sit by and watch this any longer. I love and respect a number of people working on this game. Having met the man and hung around with him a number of times, I have profound respect for Mr. Montana. He's just a great person, but I disagree with how they're dealing with the public and how they plan to continue to do so. You just have no idea how long they're planning to drag even basic info out. I'm not on the team, and I'm not under NDA, so I'm not under any obligation to keep anything I know a secret. There are some things going on that gamers just need to know about now, and the way that they plan to do these things just isn't reasonable. What I'm about to tell you are the things they literally only plan to tell you about 3 or 4 weeks before release. And I'm sorry, you don't deserve to be strung along like that. I know you won't believe me, but I can assure you this is accurate, and in time you will see these truths unfold. I feel you need to know so you can prepare as a gamer. Quote, parentheses, save up money, make arrangements and plans, etc. First and foremost, this game will be for Xbox One and PC only. This is why they haven't mentioned platforms. They're taking early advantage of the Windows 10 cross-plat tech, and the game will be out as part of Windows 10's 3-month launch cycle in the middle of this year. So now that you know, you can make plans to purchase an Xbox One or Windows 10 if you don't have one of them already. The game is called Joe Montana NFL Football 16. This is an NFL game. First-party stipulations that the NFL has always left open, and the NFL's exclusive relationship with Microsoft allows for Microsoft to have an NFL game. Microsoft Studios is the publisher. Microsoft is deadly serious about gaining ground and winning the console war, doubtful to happen at this point though, and throwing tons of money at incubation and trying to buy new IP that they can turn into big series titles is top priority for them right now. They believe this game can be many times bigger than MLB The Show due to the larger NFL fan base and because so many Xbox One owners identify as serious NFL fans. The game was demoed and it went well. Actually, well is an understatement. People went crazy. NDAs were and still are in place for them. That's why you haven't heard anyone say anything. But a lot of people are having a hard time because what they've seen was unbelievable and it's been impossible to go back Madden or even take Madden seriously after that. It's like how you felt when you had an NES and saw Sega Genesis for the first time. The step up in quality is that big. They put those things up on art for games in hopes that you would find it, especially the NFL stuff. It took a little longer than initially thought, but you found them eventually. And when they saw you found it, they took it all down, just as they did when they realized people found their job posting last year. They already had their team in place. The posting was a bonus. All of this has been staged well. They're not asking for ideas because it's an NFL game and they don't feel there's a lot of room, creativity you need in an unlicensed game. When they first started out before IMFL, they were considering a non-NFL licensed game and were going to approach dealing with the community differently with polls, a message board, etc. But things changed once NFL was confirmed. 2K is involved. Should be obvious from some tweets, retweets, and comments both Joe Montana and Damon Groh have made. Some tech and manpower was purchased from 2K and is deeply incorporated into this game. The franchise mode will be able to be managed on mobile devices, and it's really deep. The IMFL app was never meant to be released. Its entire production was a prototyping run for its franchise mode and management system with the intent of using it in Joe Montana NFL Football 16. Even TechCrunch interview was part of the staging. It was brilliant. Everybody bought the staging. So don't wait for that app. It's never coming. There are a few important modes. One is a story mode, and it's pretty cool. Think NBA 2K My Player. That's what you're getting. The graphics, animations, and AI are all obscenely good and modern. It looks like a game that was built for this new generation, not just a port over from the last generation with a ton of sloppy tweaks. The animations are easily the most crisp of any sport game ever made. Comparing the animations to Madden is going to make Madden look like a PS1 game by comparison. This is going to be embarrassing for EA Tiburon, like the show versus MLB 2K and NBA 2K versus NBA Live embarrassing. Expect Joe Montana Football 16 out in mid-late July. I apologize to the team making this game. and to Mr. Montana. But I feel that with just 4 months until release and a reveal schedule that just really strings everybody along unnecessarily, it's only right to tell people the truth so they can be prepared with enough time to act. Again, I'm deeply sorry, but I know I'm doing the right thing. And I'll pass it to Sim.
Man, I don't even know where to begin. And I'm not even going to try to say everything, because what I love about us being here all together on the show, I know we're going to bounce off of each other, and that's just going to make the conversation great. So I'm not going to try to cover everything before I throw it to Smitty. But first of all, let me say this. If this is a guy that's making this stuff up, he is going through some extreme measures, like, to put all this stuff together. And I mean, maybe it is somebody doing that. And if you are doing that, man, I don't even have the words for it, because that's beyond ignorant. That's beyond childish. I don't even have the words to put together if this is somebody that's just making this stuff up. Now, number two, let me say this before I get started. Reading the post, and even, reading comments on the video I made in regards to this post, why so many people, and it ain't a lot, but why the people who are just so negative about it? Oh, it ain't going to happen, da-da-da. My thing is this. What do we have to lose? What do we have to lose? Why shouldn't we all at least be excited of the possibility? Why the naysayers, just downing it? Now, I'm not talking about people saying, I don't know if this is true, and giving their opinion. That's cool. But I'm talking about the people who are, they're basically calling people dumb for even having a glimpse, a slight amount of optimism. I just don't get that. And you guys are the people, like I said, the community don't need that. What's the point of downing something? So anyway, let me go ahead and give you my quick reaction. There's a few things in that article that jump out to me. First of all, it's very possible. Now, I'm not talking about licensing. I'm just saying it's very possible that the game could be called Joe Montana NFL Football 16. Reason why I think that is, you think back to when there was a Joe Montana football game. It was an NFL game. Because a couple questions came out. People were saying, well, is it just going to be a Joe Montana thing, or is it going to be the NFL? No, think about how the game was back in the day on the Genesis. It was the NFL game. It was just Joe Montana presents it just like John Madden presented Madden. That seems realistic to me. The thing that's a little questionable to me is the Xbox and the PC thing. I'm a little on the fence with that, because I can see how there could be some type of deal made, since we all know that the Xbox One is the exclusive, or is the console for the NFL. The whole Windows thing you see now this year on the sidelines, coaches got Surfaces. Remember one time they were using iPads, and we know, not saying too much here on the show, but the three of us know, just dealing with EA, how much of let's say how much of an influence Microsoft has in regards to the NFL. Even dealing with Madden. And when I say that, guys, like, so it doesn't confuse you, it's just little stuff that we hear when we're there, or it's certain things that we might see as far as dev kits and stuff like that. Now, that's not a secret, but because the developers have kits for every console, but we can kind of feel Microsoft's influence with being the console for the NFL, so that doesn't shock me too much. But I'm still a little torn though, because it's almost like, I've heard, I don't know this personally, but remember when even all of us were speculating that 2K was really working with Sony? Now I'm hearing people saying that they've got deals with 2K. So it's almost like, okay, so why would they go exclusive with Microsoft? But I don't know. Anything is possible. Now, the last thing that I would say that's questionable, and for the record, let me say this, because like I said, I'm not going to dive into it too much, because sometimes I love to hear, how my man Smitty breaks things down. So I'm going to save some of the thunder for him and Azur, because I don't want to steal too much thunder like we do to each other on this show. But for the record, most everything I hear in that post is very believable to me, in terms of if this actually pans out. I can see all of that being true. Yes, of course, this could be a fake. But let's just think about this for a moment. If it is true, what this guy is saying makes a lot of sense. But the only negative side to me that I noticed that seems like a little bit of, tooting your horn a little too much is the whole comparison to Madden. Like it, if you want to be, critical about it, you could kind of say, it kind of sounds like a PR move a little bit. Like you diving into Madden a little too much. Like think about how Natural Motion did it when they came out. They would just say, the real next gen football game. Not like the other games. They never would go into detail. They did it kind of like the nice and neat way. One could say that this guy is a little too biased. But then again, let's think about what he's saying. If this is a system, or this game is built on a system that is made for next gen gaming, it could very well blow Madden away. It could very well, the graphics could be amazing and the animations and all of these things. So, he could just be giving his opinion because he did say, just like MLB, the show did to, MLB 2K. So right there, you can kind of take the biasness out of it. So it's like, I'm kind of on the fence about it, man. I almost feel like it's Damon Grohl or somebody like that that's actually doing the post, and they're doing a brilliant job of doing like some blind PR work and trying to act like it ain't them. That's kind of the approach I'm taking. Like I said, if this is a guy who has sat around and created this for no reason, because literally you're doing it for no reason, come on, son. But we have no proof. That's a little piece I got on it for now. So I'm dying to hear what my guys have to say about it. So Smitty, go ahead and take it away, because like you always do, you're gonna definitely break some things down and make us say, So go ahead and do your thing.
Well, basically, how I feel about it is, and this is from me talking with some dudes as well, talking on PSN chats and everything, so I got to shout my guys out. I got to shout out Bills, got to shout out DJ, got to shout out Virtual Footballer as well. Especially for the video he did, piecing things together the way he did. That was a really good video.
Great video.
Yeah, with Microsoft being the official console, that's a huge thing right there. Cause I don't own, none of us have an Xbox One yet, but he does. And he said it virtually has every single app as far as the NFL correlation is on it. Like NFL Network app, NFL Sunday Ticket, NFL Access, NFL Fantasy Football. Like it has everything on it affiliated with the NFL. So it's like, I think as far as EA, like you were saying about EA having the exclusive license, it does have weight to it. But I think at the same time, if this is the case, they're saying that, well, you know what? You can't have it on every console and every platform, but it's okay if you're on Xbox. Because they may not look at it as it being a true threat, like how Titanfall was. Because that was a PC and Xbox One exclusive, and look what happened with that. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, now I'm not saying the game's going to fall flat on its face. I'm just saying, like, if it's going to have an impact, it's going to have an impact in just certain arenas. It's not going to necessarily have this overall stunning impact to the whole, gaming landscape as far as, especially when we're talking about football games. That's the potential with that. But as far as, like, when we look at this post here, and yeah, like you said, look, if somebody just in their spare time fabricated this, they need to be working for somebody's PR firm. Like, seriously, no joke, because this is very elaborate in terms of putting it together. I mean, you're talking about tweets that were literally put out there versus, like the whole bit about the demo and how that went over. If we recall, Damon had tweeted this was around the Super Bowl when they had demoed the game and said, hey, everything went well. We got to get back to work. We got to get some other things finished and cleaned up and straight and all that. And to hear the exact same thing be talked about here and say, hey, everything went great, everybody loved it and all that stuff, like those are the kind of things when you hear that kind of stuff, it's interesting. It brings a lot of interest and intrigue. And then the whole thing with the whole Windows 10 and Xbox, systematic deal there. That's another thing that adds weight to it because, once again, when you look at those when you look at those Madden bundles, those bundles are for Xbox One. They're not for PS4. So it's like, if they're doing these Madden bundles and everything with that console and seeing all that console depth, that like I highly doubt they're able to have all that depth only to have it taken away and say, you know what, you can't make a game for Madden. You can do everything for the NFL, but you just can't make a game. I think if anything, if EA has say so over it, I think they said it's okay that you guys make a game. It's just not okay for anybody. Like if 2K wanted to make it, they can't do it. Just like how 2K basically did the same thing with buying out the MLB license. Like they allowed Sony to make a game, and they said that's cool, but they weren't going to let EA make one. But this is the other interesting thing too. When we talk about the exclusivity, if you recall, every time EA reads up that license, they always are quick to say, we got this exclusive deal. We got the exclusive license for X amount of years. Now, fresh off of the Super Bowl last year, that was supposed to be it. And remember, we were all waiting around for a response or a post or something. Even, especially at E3, we was looking to hear them, hey, we got an exclusive deal, blah, blah, blah. We haven't heard a word. Even when Peter Moore was questioned about that stuff back then, he didn't say the deal's exclusive. And he was saying something, I think it was along the lines of like, we usually don't divulge in terms of giving those details out and everything or whatever, blah, 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 like something along that line. DJ had pointed that out to me the other day. But the thing is, with that all being said, there never was a clear word in terms of the license being made exclusive yet again. And at the same time, let's think about what Rex had said when we was at E3. 2K, invest in the license and get involved. Make a game. Let's go at it. So it may not necessarily be 2K because they probably wouldn't have the money to do that. But you think Microsoft ain't got the bread? You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Those parallels, and then outside of that, what Damon's been saying, that's stuff we can't really just sweep under a rug and just be like, it's whatever. Like, it's always speculation, but there is weight to some of the speculation, the speculated aspects and points here, because nobody in this community truly knows what the details are as far as what the NFL license is and who can and cannot make a football game. People are just assuming based off of past history. Nobody truly has the info. They're just saying it. They're just saying it's not so. So in order, like I said, once again, for Rex to come out and make a bold statement like he had said before, that to me, at least to an extent, would make me think in some context that maybe a competition, maybe somebody could possibly get in, but it has to be under a certain condition in order for somebody else to get involved. So I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, if this was put together and fabricated by somebody else, they did an elaborate job, whether it was at Montana Studios or if this is just some dude on the street, for real. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pass it to Azura so he could give his thoughts and input on this.
And the funny thing is, here's the thing that I was paying attention to. When we heard about this game, and even more recently, probably a couple months ago, we on this show speculated, is it a mobile game or is it a console game? And we know that Damon Groh specializes, if I'm not mistaken, in mobile games. So with that news in the post about it having a franchise mode and the franchise mode being able to be managed mobilely, these things are tying together. And even with that, the Damon Groh tweeted a picture of ESPN NFL 2K5. And he said with the tweet, daily devotion or something along those lines. So there you have the franchise aspect of it. Damon Groh being able to be a mobile guy, take that and manage it mobilely. The IMFL app that will never come out, that's supposedly supposed to run the franchise mobilely for Joe Montana football. And then you have the tidbit of information that 2K is involved. So I mean, I don't know. It's there's dots to connect, but at the same time, I, like Smitty and Sim, want concrete information. I do believe that there is some PR stunt somewhat to this post. You know what I mean? Because how else will you get news out about this game without, putting it on TV, all this kind of stuff? Because we all thought that, hey, news was coming soon, Super Bowl's a perfect time, but it's also an expensive time. Here's an inexpensive way to get some news and flame some fires. We all know that Operation Sports is big in sports gaming and being one of those media outlets that if you, catch a fire on there, it will spread other places and you can get a word of mouth going. Then you can build upon that. So I do feel like there is some PR stunt going on because it's this person's first post. Not to say that, it's uber professional, but it was laid out well thought, and it was put on the board for people to, I guess, speculate. So it leaves speculation, but at the same time, it's kind of like, he didn't give any details that you could just pin down and say, oh, yeah, well, this has been confirmed. And what we know from the past with it, because in the article, not in the article, in the post, it says that expect something late July. We know that All Pro Football 2K8, ESPN NFL 2K has had July releases with the NFL in it. So, I know we're probably going to bring it full circle and then talk about, competition and how that would affect with Madden come out earlier. I don't know. We need this to be confirmed. We need these details to be confirmed. Because I'll tell you this, like I said, once I heard this news, if that's the case, Xbox One purchase. That's just as simple as it gets. I mean, people, connecting the dots with it's been demoed and they're saying that it's amazing and all this kind of stuff. I want to see for myself. So, and I said that I would support a company's effort. So if they actually got it on console, found a loophole to get the NFL license, I'm going to support that. And I've seen some people say, I'm not buying a system for a game. Oh, please. People was buying PS3s just to play Uncharted, all this kind of stuff. So you telling me that it's been this long without a football game and you're going to pass up the opportunity? Shoot, man, you better get on eBay and find you an Xbox One and see what is hidden for yourself. Because if this information turns out to be true, which I think there are tidbits there that are true, then, competition would be finally back. But I'll pass it to Sim, and, we'll expound more and probably talk about Madden in relation to this. But that's I don't know, that post right there is either going to be legendary or people are going to want to find him and see what in the world, what information he had that made him put that out there. So we'll see pretty soon, but I'll pass it back to Sim.
And I'll tell you what, if any of this is true, this game comes out exactly like what's being advertised, I don't want to hear nothing from none of you guys that was saying, "Oh, here he is spreading rumors." Remember when I put that video out saying they was gonna be at 2K, at E3, and I had sources, and then, it's not my business to know what people think about hip hop gaming, but I will give him the credit in this same conversation. People tried to, thrash him for saying that, and all I'm saying is this: just what if this stuff does come out to be true? Things change in business, people. Things change. Not to go too deep, but I had some people telling me that the NFL, people was definitely going to entertain speaking with other people. What I heard. Now, a lot of this makes sense. Just to throw it back to what Smitty said. Now, I know a lot of guys took it for joke. Even Rex gets a laugh out of it himself about the whole "come at me, 2K, come at me, bro." But think about it. Think about what he said. He did say, and it was a good catch there, Smitty. He did say, invest in the license. Now, let's not be biased. Maybe he misspoke. But let's say we give him the benefit of the doubt. Why would you use those choice of words if there wasn't a way for another company to invest? I'm just saying, man. And for the record, guys, we're not getting lost in this post. We're not naive.
Right.
We're not sitting here thinking that this is all true. We're just saying it could be. Who knows? None of us will know until it's confirmed. But if this is what we do, all of us, not just us on the show, if this is what we do as a football community, we should be trying to pick the holes out of the story, like the good and the bad, and try to dissect things and connect the dots. Just like Virtual Footballer did. Wonderful video. That was an amazing video. How he strung the things together. That's why I was like, yeah, let me do a video as well, just giving you some awareness. And I definitely hope you guys checked out his video. I had it in the link, in the description of mine. But it's just one man's mind putting things together. That's all this is. And, like I said, there's people out there that are going to, you guys are dumb for believing. We're not believing in this post, bruh. What we're saying is what is said in this post could be. And if it is, as we roll and segue into this next topic, what does this mean for Madden 16 or Madden and beyond? Let's just imagine the game does hit, and it's exactly what this dude said. I mean, beautiful animation. This dude said the best animations of any sports game. Now, we all know that could be, an opinion, because, Smitty probably already know where I'm going here. One of the most fluid games I've seen here of late has all day. That game is beautiful as far as the way it moves and the seamless animation. So if you're gonna go there, like, I don't know if you play soccer games, so that could be just, your opinion. But for him to say it's the best animated sports game, it looks good, career mode is deep, excellent gameplay, it's an NFL product. What does that mean for Madden? I'll give my quick piece.
And we, not to cut you off, Sam, but we heard, and this is a little tidbit that I'll give you. We heard a rumor from a source that the NFL would be approached by another company. That's something we heard off the cuff months ago. Just hearsay. So for this information, for them to say that Microsoft has a play in it, and that's the loophole that they found, that since the Xbox One has, exclusive NFL content, that, oh man. So that's a little nugget right there that we heard, that the NFL would be approached by someone else. And if that holds true, then that information held true as well.
Yeah, man. It's so much of this that could be true. That's all we're saying. And as far as Madden, I don't know how many times we got to say it. We must have to say it until we blue in the face. We shoot it to you guys straight, man. And if you don't know that by now, if you don't know that we will talk about any game and be fair and, be critical, then I don't even know why you're still listening. We to shoot it to you straight. We have told you 100 times. The developers in that building at EA, they want to make the best possible simulation game that they can. Once again, they have bosses. It's just like your job. Some of you guys that are listening, I don't know what you guys do, but let's think about the jobs you've had in your life. You have project managers and you have these people who come up with ideas. What usually happens? They have a production meeting, and somebody comes in and they have an idea, and what happens? Somebody has to approve it. Usually somebody will say, oh, no, not enough time to get to that. Oh, you know what? That's not priority. Well, you know what? Maybe we'll try to catch that next time, because only 10%, are really asking about that, and the other 80%. So, 80 to 90% wants this. So let's try to do this first. What makes you think that changes in the gaming world? What's another nugget we threw at y'all before? And it's clear, you should be able to see it. 2K is built a little differently. 2K is all about detail. That's evident. It's been that way from the beginning. And guess what? Like my man Smitty always tells you, same group of people, same vision. Now, we always say the group that's at EA now is different. And if you can't tell that by now, hey, I can't help you with that. But just think about how they shake and move, even how they communicate. So all I'm saying, I say all that to say this. I really believe if this game is legit, better believe we're going to have 2 great games going forward. Now, I don't know about, this year, but I'm just talking about the 2 franchises. Because you better believe if we're telling y'all that they have the people in place to make an amazing game, you better believe when money is involved, if they start shaking up some numbers and sales, you think the people that don't control what happens ain't going to open their eyes up? And be like, no, we got to do something. We got somebody else on the block now. We got to be the big boys on the block. They did that, we're going to do this. They doing this, we're going to do that. That's why we're excited. I'm speaking for all of the guys here on the show. This is why we are excited about what the competition may bring. It's not about, it's going to be the Madden killer, or, you got guys out there too that's defending Madden like crazy, saying, it ain't going to be better than Madden. Like, why it's got to be all that? We should all want the best game. The game could be, NFL, Azure Effect 17. I play that game till the wheels fall off if it's the best one.
What's that?
Like,
royalty.
You know what I'm saying? I don't get that part of it. So that's what I mean as far as what this is going to do for the competition. This is what we ask for, people. We've been asking for competition, and it may be there. But I will say this before I throw it to Smitty. This could very well be. Y'all remember that year when Game Day came in and blew Madden out the window? Just totally blew him off the map. This could be the same situation. And in my opinion, Madden needs that. Now, like Rex said, and I'm not going to elaborate too much because we still got things we can't say. Remember what he said on the show? When he was like, you guys know. Oh, yeah. I feel like, the final product of Madden 16 should be a pretty good game. That's all I'm going to say right now. That's all I'm allowed to say because Rex already said it. Now, when we can start talking about things that are coming and all that, we will. But even saying that and even, being supportive of those guys because I know what they want to do, Madden needs this. Madden needs this game to be real and come in and kick the door in. They need that. You need to get punched one time, take an L and be like, I ain't the best. Let me come back and rebound. You need that. So I really hope that everything he said, not just because I'm selfish and I want to play a great game, but I really hope what this dude is saying about it blowing Madden away, I hope that's even true. Because guess what, guys? We still going to be game changers. We still can be down there like, yo, what y'all doing? And not even that. We can take the current game with us. Like, look at this. Y'all better get this. What you doing? So guess what that means for us? 2 games. Because we ain't going to quit. And we going to give these dudes advice too if they want it. That's what it's about. whether y'all believe it or not. That's what we're here for. EA just happened to be the company to reach out and say, hey, you guys want to help advise what this game needs? Sure. So that's my little piece on the competition thing. But what you think, Smitty, man? What is this going to do, or what do you want it to do?
Well, I wanted to help with opening the door for competition. But, the one thing that you just said about the whole point as far as talking about Madden, talking about this game here, let's not forget, you got guys like QJB that are part of the Game Changer program, yet go to 2K as well. So let's not forget, that whole element right there. So, like, there is no bias. There is no, oh, you're on lockdown. You can't say anything about anyone else. No. Like we said before, like you just said as well, if it came down to it, we'll be right there at EA like, yo, y'all got to have this in your game. You got to have this. You know what I'm saying? And that's all there is to it. But what this will do is this will help in regards of getting the competition where it needs to be. You know what I'm saying? It'll help open up the doors and allow these guys to truly create on a level that they should be able to the fullest extent. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're being as creative as they can be within the confines of being the only game out there. But what I believe is that when you have that competition, like we all say, and I mean, like the saying goes, competition breeds excellence. If you have that competition, that's going to breed excellence in both ways. It's going to breed it in regards to EA, but it's also going to breed it in regards to this game. I don't know, like, we don't know whose studio is making this right now. It's all speculation. But the bottom line is, whoever makes this game, if it does honestly bring competition to the forefront, that's going to be outstanding, because at the end of the day, we win. And this is what we've been demanding for. This is what we've been posting videos for, tweeting and commenting for years and years on end. That's why when some people scoffed at Rex calling out 2K, me and Sim was happy about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bet. That's more incentive for these dudes to get in the mix. You know what I'm saying? Because if these dudes get in the mix, that means that's going to push, both companies are going to push. And we end up winning. We're the benefactor. So I don't see how that's a loss. You know what I'm saying? I don't see how that's an issue. Even with this article here. That's what I said earlier today on Twitter. It's amazing to see how many people, dudes that, look, dude Getting, it clearly clashed with him on a regular basis. Okay? This is a dude who has completely opposing viewpoints. Some of the stuff that said, heck, would even be considered ignorant. But I can still come to him and say, you know what, I respect. He was the one that let me know about this article, that let me know about the post, and say, yo, Smitty, I want you to give your honest thoughts on this. And I was like, yo, as soon as I read it, I had to cut a video about it. But that's not the point. The main point is that if you have people from opposite ends of the spectrum all feeling the same vibe towards the goal here, which is getting a simulation product brought through the studio, it's just the goal. That's the whole point. And that's like what Sim said earlier. The whole point is having people driving towards the goal as a collective, not as, well, it's got to be according to what this guy has to say. It's got to be according to what these people have to say. No, it has to be about it's all about football. It's all about getting football, and that's it. It's not about getting football according to one man's opinion or somebody's opinion or somebody's face being plastered on the billboard for it. It's just about getting the game. And that's what we want. You know what I'm saying? The three of us and many other people out here want Madden to be a good game. It doesn't make sense to sit up here and talk about it end over end over end, to sit up here and just say, no, I don't care for it at all. That's dumb. You know what I'm saying? You talk about the game because you genuinely care about it. If you didn't, you wouldn't have anything to say about it. Plain and simple. So when it comes to talking about this game right here, we're talking about this and we're talking about these articles, and we got a decent amount of Sherlock Holmes and Watsons out here detecting and dissecting and looking things up and piecing things together. That's awesome. You know what I'm saying? That's great to see that kind of buzz going on right now. So this is the kind of stuff that could possibly have dudes, weary over at EA a little bit and say, okay, you know what, we may have to do a little something here, especially if this game comes out and it's kicking according to what these points were made in that post. Because I mean, the one thing, the points about making, Madden look like a PS1 game and all that, that's all subjective. So, I can't really take, like Sim said, I can't really put much weight on that. But I can definitely say that if this game does bring that much up to the forefront, my main questions are going to be this. Number one, how many years have they been working on this game? Because that would be uncanny that they worked on a regular dev cycle and they got it to look that good and run that smooth. If it's that clean out the gate, you spent some quality time on that. So that's going to be one thing. Because and the secondary thing, and I'll end it with this and pass it to Azur. We already know people are going to over dissect the Madden trailer. They're going to over dissect whatever is posted on GameStop or EB Games website as far as the description for this game. It's all that's going to be over dissected and over analyzed and overly broke down, and people are going to chop it at the bit and just say it's going to be the same game, blah, blah, blah. Now, how many people are going to do the exact same thing with Joe Montana? That's going to be my number one question, because if you're supposedly here, and I mean, we spoke about this last week, but this is as real as it gets. If you're supposedly unbiased and you're supposedly about getting the best quality sim product out there, then we should be seeing this. We should be seeing Joe Montana with very few positive videos out here and nothing but negative videos in terms of everything that's quote unquote wrong with it, because it's not fundamentally sound and it needs to be better. Otherwise, you're showcasing bias and you're just having a love fest and you're wearing rose-colored shades on the game. I mean, let's just be honest about it, and let's be brutally honest about it right now. Because at the end of the day, myself, Sim, and I are not here to tell you what you want to hear. We're to tell you what you need to hear. We're not going to tell you, we're not trying to get folks to catch an eargasm off what we got to say. We're just going to tell it straight. You don't like it, tough. Just going to tell it. So that's why I'm saying what I'm saying right now as of today, March 5th. So when we see the truth and when we see everything unveiled and all the, whatever studio and all that stuff, I'm expecting the exact same kind of criticism across the whole board when it comes to Madden, but also at the same time, better be seeing the exact same thing with Montana, because that's why we formed that Sim Standard channel, and that's why we did those videos, because whoever comes out with a football game, there's no excuses. There is no, well, it's the first game pass. No. You got to get it right the first game. And if you don't get it right the first game, you're getting chopped down just like we do with Madden. We're going to break them down the exact same way, brick by brick. So I'll end it on that note. Pass it to the look.
Buster Douglas knocked out Mike Tyson. The New York Giants beat the undefeated Patriots. So Joe Montana football can make a splash and knock Madden back a notch. It might not get it in sales, but who knows? If they have the NFL license, coupled along with Microsoft and Xbox One, they might actually do some numbers. I think that we should be more upset with 2K, honestly, for not capitalizing on the time period that the community was upset with Madden even more so. Expecting Madden 16 to come along even farther and be a great game, just because of the upward trajectory that the game is on. And true enough, it still has its potholes and legacy issues that are very frustrating. And one of the things that I find just from my time playing here more recently is the artificial intelligence. What's the use of having or playing against a Peyton Manning that does not make the right adjustment? We had the Madden '08, the weapon system, to where if you ran consistent plays, you had a playmaker on defense who had a light bulb, meaning, he had great awareness and play recognition. He would snuff out your play. Or if you played against Peyton Manning and you start running the same defense and you recognize the coverage, he hit you over top. I want to see that kind of stuff come back. And that's stuff that we've talked about, previously with abilities and traits and all this kind of stuff that I hope is fleshed out even more in Madden 16. But I'm anxious to see what Joe Montana brings to the table, especially if it's for console. If this stuff is confirmed and it actually comes out and it's consoles, it's not a mobile game, and, the details that we learned in the post actually come out to be true, I'm super excited because for it to have gone well and it has a deep franchise mode, supposedly, that's what we've asked for. So you talking about going from an unknown game to competing right off the bat because you have the NFL license. We were talking, and one of the things that was a handicap was not having an NFL license. People not going to support it if it doesn't have the NFL, and people want the NFL teams. Oh, there you go. If it actually turns out to be true and they have NFL licenses, there you go. We've seen player models and we've said, we need to see more than that. But if this post has any validity, then Madden could have some trouble on his hands. Damon Grove has even talked about dynamic weather, dynamic attendance, fans putting bags over their heads. I mean, now that's not confirmed or anything. He said hypothetically, that, you'd see. And he tweeted a picture of a stadium, what do you call those things? Like an ad banner, and it had, social media stuff rolling across it. So we've seen just little tidbits here and there, but if you put these pieces all together, you'll start to see some of the puzzle. This can only be a good thing. And like Smitty said, you'll see who the biased people are. If it comes out, Joe Montana football comes out, NFL, especially NFL, and it has problems and people aren't addressing them, they're just going and looking for, overlooking stuff just because it's there to compete with Madden, then you need to check yourself. You need to check your bias because obviously you would be biased. And like Sim and myself and Cindy have said, we're for competition. We don't care who makes it. We've said that for the longest. So for Joe Montana to jump out the box and they actually come up and step up to the plate, side eye 2K. I'm disgusted with 2K as far as it goes for making a football game. Really just disgusted. Now, if they have involvement in this, then okay, good for them. They have been sitting on their hands for a long time. And why didn't you approach Microsoft? If that's the loophole that Joe Montana found, why didn't you approach Microsoft about doing something since the license was so important to you instead of going for WWE? But, hey, that's neither here nor there. I don't make business decisions like I said all the time. Hey, I'm just a consumer. What the hell I know? I didn't go to Wharton School of Business, Harvard School of Business or nothing. But obviously people at 2K did. So they know what they're doing with their money. But that's neither here nor there. Competition is good. And hopefully it will encourage other people to find loopholes. Like Sim said, Smitty said, if the license can be invested in, then why wouldn't, you see companies that have nothing to do with gaming try to jump into the fray too. Apple, Google, why not? They got the money. All they have to do is go out and find the talent and developers to do it. And I'm pretty sure there's people out there that want to be involved with such a project. There's a developer out there by the name of Big Lugo who works for, the game that produces Killer Instinct, very talented individual. And I'm pretty sure the ideas that given the right resources, he could compete with Madden. So it just remains to be seen what part of this information is true. I hope it's all true. I hope it comes out. I hope the NFL license is involved with it. And I hope that we see the community finally get their wish of competition in football. Because we have it in basketball now. We need it in football. So I'm going to throw it back to Sim as we have reached the caller hour. And I'm anxious to hear from the community and see what people have to say, what their thoughts are, and would they actually purchase an Xbox One for competition? Because this means competition. If this post holds true. So I'll throw it back to Sam and we'll get into your call.
Yeah, man. We definitely gonna open it up to the callers. Let me give you guys time to do what you have to do if you want to call in. If you're listening online, we definitely have been advised that a lot of you guys listen to the show online or what have you. We are now on iTunes. You can search it and find us there. And some guys also have asked for me to put the show up on YouTube. So I'll start doing that as well, probably with this one. The format, I'll probably just grab, a picture or whatever and just throw up the audio. I don't think I have a video or whatever to match or what have you. But if you're listening and you want to call, give us a call at 914-338-0794. Right now, looks like we have 205 will come in first, and then 770. I don't see 757 as of now. So if you're out there, of course you're going to be first, or we'll get you in whenever you come in to do your segment. But before we open it up, man, let me say this real quick, a couple things to kind of rehash what Azur said, but just think about this. The competition part of it, if you look at it from this aspect, it's a win-win. Let's think about this for a minute. Now, we are the ones that feel like Madden will be able to compete because we feel like there'll be more resources and more, time allocation and all of that. And don't take that the wrong way, guys. What we're saying is, when there's somebody else on your block, you're going to put in extra work. That it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure that out. So one or two things would happen. It's a win-win either way. Either Madden will continue to go on the path that they're going in, and they will try to produce the best simulation game, which that's what we hope for because there'll be 2 games, or Joe Montana will be the simulation football game, like Damon Groh has, been saying even when he came on the show. So what if Madden just stayed the way it was? Then we have our own game over here. The sim community can play Joe Montana. So it's almost like it can't lose. However it goes. But I really feel like that if Joe Montana is a great game, I really feel like that Madden will start to be a great game as well. Because let's keep one thing in perspective. Like Azur said, no, it's not perfect. But Madden is coming around. Just think about if the things that you wanted fixed in Madden were fixed. It'd be a great game. It'll be a great game, and then what they will be competing on is the detail stuff like franchise, story mode, the little details like on the field, and that's great. If we could get 2 games like that, bruh, we can't lose. And I'm gonna show you. I got a video actually that I'm looking at right now. I just gotta play. I might put this up tonight. It's a Madden play where I'm gonna show you for people who don't believe it where this game is coming around. Madden just still needs the detail. Not even talking about weather and all that. We know it needs that. But on the field, it just needs that fluidity. It needs the weight and mask and all that to matter. It needs gang tackles. It needs DB and wideout interactions and those things. Just think about it. If you do your top 10 list, it's really not a whole lot of things. And I think these things could definitely be accomplished. Definitely if competition is out there. That's what we're doing, folks. We're trying to get that competition there, and we're going to rock with the best game available. You guys already know that. All right, so let's go ahead and get these callers in. Again, right now we got 205-770, and then after that I see 219 is in. We'll keep the same format, 205. Smitty will reply to you. Azul will reply to 770, and then I'll reply to 219. And then, we'll just rotate that again as the calls come in. All right, so 205, man, we got you in, and we definitely want to hear what you have to say about everything, man. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing great, guys. Missed work today. They called work off because we had a little bit of icing going on. But I'm doing good. How are y'all tonight, man?
Good.
Good, man. Can't complain.
Just to get on the whole Joe Montana thing, I didn't even know this was going on. I was at work. I guess when this article and everything had hit, I didn't hear about it until late yesterday afternoon. Then once I seen it, I started checking out VS video. Then I went on Sim's video, Smitty's video. I was checking out everybody's video. I really enjoy how y'all kind of went in depth with it. PF had really great points. When he started actually going back through the timeline of seeing things, and I know Smitty knows this because we always talk on PSN a lot. We're kind of joking about a lot of people jumping off bridges because of this game and everything like that. But if all this stuff is true, I'm not even gonna go into the side of where people's gonna come at us differently, saying that we didn't know what we was talking about. The whole thing is, my point here is the movement. If this really does happen, I feel like it's a core group of guys that really got this going as far as a sim community of getting what we wanted. Not necessarily just picking out people, but there's people that kind of fell off to the wayside and gave up on this whole push. But guys like us never really did. And there's other guys out there, even though we had different disagreements with them, they was having the same push. And if this all comes true and we all have this, game out, whether it be on a PC or Xbox, I just really want the community to be able to have a game where we can actually feel like we're playing football again. And if Joe Montana's that game, I don't really care what it's called. If it's all the things they say it is, it's going to be great. Imagine what we could do with the NFL on an Xbox if it's got all those apps for the Xbox, having the NFL, there's only, there's no telling what they might do the next coming up year with maybe streaming the NFL network through the game or something. There's so many ideas that could be put out there for us, that we could always be connected to the NFL, and it would be the game that Azor would actually feel like he's an NFL coach or owner or whatever. He would actually have that franchise where he feels like, I'm the commissioner and I'm the king of the world. I got this league the way I want it. I just feel happy about that. Speculate all you want. We don't really know yet, but it'll be a great time for the sim community. Now, let y'all have y'all show back, man. Y'all have a great night.
All right, man. Well, thanks first of all for calling in. But yeah, man, that's the whole thing at the end of the day, man. Like we said, it's about the goal. It's not about who talks about the goal. Ain't nobody's face gonna be plastered on the billboard in the front of everybody else if somebody says it first. Like, who cares? You know what I'm saying? It's just about the community coming together off of the principle that we got competition. We got multiple football games, and we have games that are pushing against each other to make games better. Because we got to remember here, there was a decent number of people may forget, but I know us three on this show grew up during the 90s. And in the 90s, you had multiple football games that came out, but only 2 or 3 stood out. You know what I'm saying? You had games like Mike Ditka Power Football and High Impact Football, and you had your arcade games like Pigskin and Cyberball and Mutant League Football, and you had then you would have Madden, then you had Quarterback Club, you had Game Days, you had you had many different football games that would come out every year. A lot of them fell by the wayside because they were just bad games. But Madden and Sega football really were the ones that stuck out for the longest amount of time. So And in this common point right now, everybody is hooked on the whole, well, let's just have 2 games and that's it, because that's all they really know. But if you grew up during that era where you had years where you had 4 to 5 different football games, but only 2 of them really sold anything, that's where you can value and say, you know what, we just want the competition. Just get the game. You know what I'm saying? Just get the game there, and that's all that matters to all of us. You know, but we love Madden. We want Madden to get where it is. That's why we go down to the studio. That's why we talk to the devs. That's why we come with the constructive criticism, because we want Madden to be good. I wouldn't play a game just to sit there and tear it down. Why would I bother talking about it or giving it any kind of light if I didn't give 2 cares about it anymore? You know what I'm saying? So that's, that's why we just, at the end of the day, we want competition. We just don't want another game just to say there's another game with an NFL branding on it. We want adequate competition, and we want these companies to push each other for the consumer dollar at the end of the day. Sim? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm here. Sim.
Yeah, I'm here.
Sim, man?
I had some difficulty. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I had some difficulty coming off of mute. I don't know what that is, but excellent point, man. Let's go ahead and move on. We got a few more callers that came in. So, of course, 770 is coming in now, 219. Then after that, 337 and 301. So, 770, you got you in here live, man. What's going on tonight?
What's going on, guys? It's Virtual. How y'all doing?
What up?
Hey, man, I appreciate
Sherlock Holmes.
Man, quit it, man. Listen, man, I appreciate all the support from the video and all the good things y'all said in the show about the video. But what I told you guys last time, I don't know if y'all even remember, last time I was on the show, you got guys in this community that aren't gamers. And it's showing right now. It's all about the game. It's always been about getting the better game, regardless. And I know y'all hear me say this plenty of times. I don't care who makes the game. The game could be made, from a restaurant, Olive Garden, KFC. I don't care. As long as it plays on my console, my PC, it plays well, I'm on it. You got people in here trying to tear down this speculation, not even for the sake of just saying that, I don't think it's true. It's the fact that they want people to be wrong. That has nothing to do with gaming. Man, look, I appreciate you guys, man. I really do. From the get-go, people say that y'all did this, y'all did that. Hell, I was even one of them at one time. And I had to be honest, and I had to man up and say, yo, look, it ain't even worth it. I apologize to y'all. I don't know y'all like that. But one thing I will say, ever since y'all been doing this thing, y'all been, for the most part, upfront about what y'all know. And that's what it's about. Give our information. Give us the best situation where we can, as gamers, can enjoy football. Now, I didn't come over here having any questions or whatever, but I didn't really come here to preach. But these past 48 hours, 72 hours, have been really sad, because even though you had people that did not talk at one point, they are actually uniting and having great dialogue about this article. You have some people that you don't even think about trying to tear it down. And at the same time, if they were the ones that actually found this thing first, they would want you to support them. Like I said, that has nothing to do with gaming. We want the best football game possible. I don't care who make it. It doesn't matter. I put this video together because I saw a lot of things in that article outside of what was on the article. I put them together. I can't say they're facts. I can't say it's the gospel. I can't say it's truth. But what I will say is, I don't think anybody can deconstruct my video. And I'm not saying that arrogantly. If you can deconstruct the video, I will thumbs up it. I will like it. Hell, I will even ask you for the footage so I can put it up on my channel to expose the things I put together. But I put it together because I love football. I love gaming. And I know the people who are subscribed to me and the people who are like-minded like me love football. We're not in this to tear each other down. I mean, we've been doing this stuff for 3 years. I mean, I know y'all don't realize it, but it's been 3 years since they've been trying to tear y'all guys down for becoming game changers. Once again, that's not gaming. Yeah, I appreciate what y'all do, man, and I do my part on my end. To get the best game possible. I do whatever I can to get simulation, not even just in football, but in any sport. And I'm going to keep bringing the best content I can, and I keep supporting anybody who do the same. So, like I said, I appreciate it. Thank you all guys for everything. And one more thing that y'all guys forgot to talk about, and I'm going to leave y'all with this. Remember when Madden 25 came out? Madden 25 dropped, and they was introducing the smart glass thing because we know that Microsoft was the official console of the Xbox, which, like I said, you go look at my video, connect the dots, it's very possible that they can come out with a game. I don't even want to talk about that. But who was on stage testing out that smart glass?
Yeah, that was Montana.
Exactly. He's testing out a Microsoft product, at the time was Microsoft exclusive, which was the smart glass. And he's testing it out, and now he's supposedly making a game that is geared towards a mobile device sync up that can sync with the mobile device. That's just another thing y'all might want to think about. Oh, another thing too. I posted this on Twitter earlier. I don't know if y'all can find it. The first Joe Montana article that was put out, they had a screenshot. Screenshot was of the Houston Texans stadium. Hollywood Sports Ask OS. Where did you get the screenshot from? Now, Operation Sports themselves said that this is a screenshot that, quote unquote, they gave us. Who is outside of Joe Montana would put out an article about they? Y'all just think about that. I ain't got nothing else to say, man. Y'all gotta take care, man. Y'all have a good night.
Appreciate the call, VF, and your content, and just you being one of the individuals in the community that has sense and can look for things for yourself. Like, we don't have to expound everything for you. We could say something, then you could be like, make your mind up about it and read between the lines. And that's what we ask people to do as far as the information that we give, because obviously we're not going to break any NDAs, but like Sim always says, we tiptoe that line for you enough to say, hey, these guys are giving us information. And if you go back and look at our old videos, we've kept it 100 with you all the way here. And we will continue to do so, especially with, if Joe Montana football comes out and we're asked to participate in that, we have no problem doing that with them as well. So just to expound upon what you said, man, you said a lot. And it's true. And to me, that's connecting some more dots. That if it actually is true that he's working with Microsoft, that he saw an opportunity to develop a relationship. And especially if that's the case and that this information is true, EA knows this game is coming. There's no way that they would sit back and not know that competition was coming. And that's why Sim and Smitty are saying that 16 is going to be a great game. Because if they have NFL competition coming, you want to shine so much so that you want to say, you know what? They tried, but they didn't get all the way up the hill. We are still at the top of the mountain. So if they know that this game is coming, if it's true, in fact, if this information is correct, it's an NFL licensed game out on the Xbox One through Microsoft, they know it's coming. And they going to do their best to be prepared, gameplay-wise. Not only gameplay-wise, but feature-wise, because I can speak for myself when I say I'm tired of the MUT trend. You know what I mean? Like, if Joe Montana comes out and they say, we're going to put emphasis on gameplay, and this is where our emphasis is going to lie, I love that, because it's going to bring it back to Madden and say, you know what? We need to focus on this too. This whole MUT, my team revolution that's going on, it annoys me. And probably because it's monetary and you can overlook legacy issues for putting shiny new features and card releases every week, bundles, and all this kind of stuff. To me, Madden is making a killing in MUT. so as NBA 2K is making a killing off VC purchases and all that kind of stuff. Put that stuff towards your gameplay. I mean, we on next gen, which is current gen, no longer next gen. We on current gen, PS4, Xbox One. These are powerful consoles, as the order has shown us. It's time to do it, sports games. Time to stop giving, yearly iterations of these games and go ahead and put the full Monty out there to where people feel like, you know what, I'm satisfied with this. I know MLB The Show 15's come out, but I like 14. You can look at MLB The Show as a model of that consistency. People still buy it. It's still a product. But every year it's solid enough to where people don't have to buy it. They buy it to support it, but they don't have to buy it because the game is solid. And I'm pretty sure that, players of the franchise who play it like we play Madden could tell us differently, that there's stuff broken in it that needs to be fixed, and I'm pretty sure that they fix it year to year. But gameplay-wise, no. Simulation-wise and franchise-wise, I think they got it correct. And it's time for Madden and NBA 2K to do the same. So, pass it to Sim and we can go to the next call. But great call, VF, and we always appreciate you as well.
Yeah, man, he dropped a few nuggets in there that almost forgot about Joe Montana on the stage. Whoa. Like I said, if you haven't seen it already, man, go to his channel, Virtual Footballer on YouTube. If you can't find his channel, feel free. You can go to my video and click the link to his video in the description. But check it out if you haven't already. I mean, he walks you down the timeline. It almost forces you to be like, yeah, I see what you mean. But definitely check that out. Let's go ahead and grab the next call. It looks like we lost 219, so we'll pick up 337. After that, it'll be 301. All right, 337, man, we got you in live. How you doing tonight?
Man, I'm doing pretty good, man. How y'all doing?
Good, man. Hanging in.
I just wanted to say, you guys talk about what is Joe Montana going to do for competition for Madden. What about MLB The Show and PlayStation? I mean, PlayStation got MLB The Show. That's why a lot of people picked up the PlayStation 4. Now you got something that's backed by or being worked with 2K on the Xbox. So that might be the Xbox exclusive that they're going to push to counter battle the PlayStation, and they're exclusive with MLB The Show. And then you got FIFA, which is multi-platform, that's supposed to be doing real big things throughout the world. I mean, it's like one of the top games that's probably that they consider next gen. And then you guys talk about PES. I don't play soccer, but I had a buddy that plays soccer, and I've seen your videos about PES, Smitty, and it looks nice. And I see the moves and the cuts, and they should add that in Madden, and they should take some heat from FIFA to up their game, because the competition's coming and it looks like fire. Now, I'm not getting my hopes up high, but I'm just telling you, if some people praise 2K like they praise God, the world would be a whole lot of better place. You probably wouldn't have so much hatred. But I just look at it as just another game. It may be a top-notch game, but it's still a game. It's still going to have flaws, I believe. It's nothing to get worked up over. But EA got to get together. So that's all I want to say, folks. I just want to tell that. So I'll be listening.
Definitely appreciate your call, man. And yeah, man, I'm right there with you. It's like, that's something else that I saw, people had discussion on as far as it being the exclusive for Xbox. And who knows, man, it could be exactly that. Even in the post, the guy was saying that, they're confident, not confident, but they're striving to be, to win the console battle. And who knows? That could be the thing to do. I mean, there's so many things in that article that if it turns out that it's true, we all will look back and say that made a lot of sense. So many things. It's just, it sucks because it sucks when you see something that's so true but you don't know how valid it is. Like, that's one of the worst feelings. When you can clearly read something and say, "Oh, wow, I believe," I could believe in a lot of what you're saying here. But we don't know if the source is real. And that's what sucks about this whole situation. But, yeah, man, the competition itself is what I'm looking forward to more than anything else outside of potentially playing a great game in Joe Montana. Because like I said earlier in the show, in case, you weren't on then, or anyone who may have come in late, I want to see this game do exactly what he said in the article. It would be great for it to come out and, be the 2K5 of this era, to where people will be like, whoa, this game, us guys, like the sim guys, I would love for us to be like, this game is better than Madden in its current state. That would be great. Because then come Madden 17, 18, 19, they're going to come with it, if that's the case. So I feel like we do, and, to give a shout out to 757, I know he'll probably hear this show if he doesn't make it on. Like he always says, we need that next-gen game. So I would love to see, and some people are going to kill me for saying this, but I would love to see another Backbreaker type of explosion. Backbreaker wasn't the best game, but it had all of us like, wow. So you can have real-time physics in a football game. That's what I want to see from Joe Montana. I want it to be a game that blows us away. And maybe, Madden takes it on the chin a little bit. That's cool. Get back in the ring and redeem yourself next time. Or, like we said, nobody's seen Madden 16 yet. So do you know, guys, that this could be the first time in a very long time that we got two good football products? Think about that. That alone makes me excited. But let's move on, man. We'll go ahead and grab 301. Smitty will reply to you. I see 205 is back in the queue. So Azur will give you your reply. All right, 301. Got you in live on the show, man. How you doing tonight?
Hello?
Yeah, we
Hey, what's going on?
We hear you, man. You loud and clear.
All right, yeah. I wanted to say a few things. First and foremost, I'm kind of younger than most people probably listen and watch you guys' videos. But I still have a lot of knowledge about the stuff, and I wanted to say a few things. So the first thing I was going to say was about Madden, and it was about how they pretty much built themselves back up. I still think there's lots of flaws, and there are a lot of things that I could recommend for them to change. But in particular, Madden 13, I think, actually started to change for Madden. Like, if you look at Madden 13 and then you look at Madden 12, you see a lot of huge differences. And so I think Madden 13, a lot of stuff they did change the way Madden was. And Madden 25 and Madden 15 changed the game as well, and they followed the path of Madden 13. Particularly with some owner mode, and especially the tackling system that they changed in 13, and a lot of other animations that they did fix up, despite there still being some problems. And the next thing I was going to say was about Joe Montana 16. I think I do have a little bit of speculation of how it could be true, what Mr. Football SF posted, and that is a video that was made a few days ago by, I think it's Pasa Geddon 7. Have you heard of his channel?
Yeah.
Yeah, his video. He talked a few minutes about how he has seen some pictures a while back on an old site that's taken down now, and it's like it has some models of character. And he said there were some comments made by somebody who was saying that there were some comments made by the person who posted it who could have been Damon Grove, and he was saying stuff like, working on a Joe Montana face for an NFL game. And then another one, he said he was working on, some models for an NFL game. And that site is gone now, but, I don't think he noticed this when he made the video, but I did tell him in the comment that those character models, if you go to Damon Grove's Twitter and you look at his cover photo, those character models are the cover photo. And it's something like, if that's actually on Damon Grove's Twitter, then that could pretty much right there confirm the fact that Joe Montana Football 16 is an NFL game. But that's all I had to say.
Well, first of all, definitely appreciate the call, first and foremost, for calling in. You know, as far as like a lot of the points that you have made there, they were made in the from the post there on OS regarding the Montana 16 as far as the rumored info. But that is interesting to see that Damon had commented, or if it was Damon that had commented. And see, this is once again PR moves. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know. I mean, we don't know for certain, but I'm just saying these guys could be elaborately positioning themselves to strike. You see what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't be the least bit shocked if that's what they are doing. Like, they're showing it, they're showing a screenshot here and there, then they're showing, a stadium rendering of some sort. Then the picture as far as that Texas stadium, the Reliant Stadium, saying that's a legitimate in-game shot from Montana. Like, they provided that screenshot for them. Whereas, we were all thinking, I know I was at least, I was definitely thinking that was from Madden. And they just happened to, they just used that screenshot or whatever. But no, that's actually from Montana. So it's like, we don't know, you know what I mean? Like, what's really going on here. But the thing is, the key thing here is the speculation is really good speculation. Because to see that's an actual asset as far as a Montana game, as far as info given, is an NFL stadium screenshot. You know what I'm saying? So, like, that's the kind of stuff, once again, where we can sit up here and be like, yo, this is possibly an NFL game. Now, whereas people were saying they wanted the game to be unlicensed and everything, I mean, let's be brutally honest here. The majority of people that would get creative are going to create the NFL. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to have some people that'll create off-brand teams and leagues and stuff, but they're going to make the NFL. So that's the kind of game that we honestly want. We want NFL competition. Because even when people play APF, they're making their own leagues out of it and trying to make it, quote-unquote, official. You know what I'm saying? But look at what depths and lengths they're going to. I mean, you got the editors out here and everything. Look at how much work that is just to try and churn out an NFL franchise out of a game. So that's what I'm just saying. People honestly, on the overall, want an NFL title. But once again, but I mean, I'll end it with this, just saying that, they're doing a masterful job. Like, if all these things are just faux pas and just setups, they're doing a masterful job of marketing. You know what I'm saying? Minimal, like, they've shown us bare minimal stuff, but they're getting so much attention off of it. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, all I can say is kudos to that. So I'll pass it back to Sim from there.
Yeah, man. It's funny, man, because, and first of all, thank you for the call, man. And I know you said you're a little bit younger, but hey, that means nothing. It's obvious that you pay attention. There are many people that tell us that, we're crazy for saying that Madden has shown changes since Madden 12. But, that's what it's supposed to be about. You're a guy who plays games and you have your opinion and you see where things have changed. That's what it's supposed to be about. But it's funny, man, in regards to Joe Montana. I was, I don't know about you guys, but, I share everything with my wife. We can talk about anything. So I'm laughing and telling her, like, look at this post. Remember that game I was telling you about? Now, look at this. Now, nobody knows who this guy is. First thing she said was, man, that's somebody that worked for the company doing that. That was the first thing out of her mouth. It's probably one of them. I'm like, you know what? You're probably right. Because what's funny, too, is that it says Mr. Football SF, as in, I would have to assume San Francisco. We know that the studio would appear to be in San Francisco, judging off of what Damon Groh has said with his, in his bio or what have you on his Twitter page, as well as when he called here, that was an area code from there. And wouldn't this be funny? Imagine if it's actually Joe Montana. Wouldn't he be Mr. Football San Francisco? Wouldn't that be crazy if we find out in a few weeks or whatever, hey, guys, we got you. It was me. Yeah, that's for real. It's coming out. we would the show that week we would be going crazy on the show. Imagine if he did that. And I hope y'all are listening. You do that, that's the equivalent of standing up there and dropping the mic. Bang. Gotcha. And you show that kind of confidence, this is just me just rambling now, but just imagine if that was to happen. That would be crazy. But anyway, we're going to bring in 205 again. See, we do have other callers on the line, but not necessarily in the queue. We got about 24 minutes left. Remember, guys, if you want to speak, press 1. For you guys who may be listening online, don't know how to reach us, you can dial 914-338-0794, and we'll try to get you in. I do see 631 has just pressed 1, so 205. I'll go ahead and get you in. I was going to ask if we could grab 631, but that's okay. I'll go ahead and get you in since you did press 1 again. And Azura will get you on your reply. What's going on, 205?
I got a couple of quick little questions that just come to my mind. I go back to, I think, earlier in the year when we had the whole speculation last year at E3 and everything was coming out. And when y'all talked about Joe Montana being on the stage with Microsoft, I also think back to Joe Montana is really big with the NFL. And he's on a lot of the NFL commercials during the Super Bowl with Peyton Manning. He's even been in a few commercials with the Heisman, and just certain little spots to where his name's out there. You go back and you see him. You go back into the where he's doing the whole little drop back scene, or we've seen him throwing the football in motion cap and everything like that. Then you come out and you hear people like y'all was saying, plus Hollywood Sports put up the video last year, and we had Hip Hop Gamer talking about we had NFL players going to 2K getting screenshotted for some reason we didn't know. If this game has been worked on for like 3 or 4 years, and then the tech that they was talking about from Microsoft, Windows 10, how do y'all feel about that? How does that resonate with y'all to where all this kind of was being built up to? They just couldn't talk about it last year because they didn't have the license hammered down. How do y'all feel about that? Is that just out of the realm of me just speculating, or how do y'all feel about that?
Appreciate the call once again, 205, and I hope that's the case, honestly. I mean, I'll throw it around. I'll be quick and throw it around to Sim and Smitty and see what they say. But honestly, I hope that's the case, and they've been working on it. And even if it was just a prototypical stage of let's work on this game and see if we can push it to be NFL later, and the NFL is tacked on, and maybe that's why we haven't heard any news, because the NFL is a new addition, then I'd be super excited, because they probably wanted to put out an unlicensed game, and then they were approached about doing it. What if you want to do it just through Xbox One? They probably didn't want, like, nah, we don't want to do that. We want it to be on all platforms. But they said, well, we can give you the NFL license through Microsoft, and they probably perked up. And truth be told, what you said about Joe Montana, I thought the same thing when I saw him in all those advertisements. He's getting his name out there to where he's visible. And although he might not have been pushing his football game, his name is just, it's something about being, having your name spoken. So, people see him in Papa John's commercials. Oh, well, he has a football game. Well, listen here, son. He had a football game a long time ago. This is who Joe Montana is, la, 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 and it goes on so forth. So we'll see, man. I like Smitty said, it's taking steps, and if that's the case, it's coming to fruition. They've been doing a lot of smart maneuvering without being any big splashes. But I'll pass it to Sim, and then he'll pass it to Smitty, see what he thinks about what if the game has been developed for 3 years or more.
Yeah, man. I think I could probably speak for Smitty and myself. I'm right there with Azure. What we're gonna do, 205, and I know you don't mind. I mean, we can always talk about this. I want to go ahead and grab 631, and I see 931 also has come in since we have 20 minutes left. Once we get through those calls, if we got a little time, we'll come back and revisit it. But pretty much what Azure said, man, I'm right there with him. I'm sure Smitty feels the same way. But like I said, if we can, we'll come back to that. Well, good question, good point. And now let's go ahead and get 631 in. Got you in live, man. How you doing?
Pretty good.
What's
How
going
are you guys
on?
doing tonight?
We're good, man. Can't complain.
Good. It's Moonlight Swami for Azure. You know me. I don't know if the rest of you guys do, but I was looking through Madden and I realized that Madden 15 is 16 gigabytes on next gen, which, if you compare it to other games, MLB 14, their first game out of the next gen cycle, came in at 38 when their MLB 13 was at 6. NBA's 50? And they were at 16. They were at 12 for Madden 25 on next gen. So they're not using the capabilities of next gen yet. I feel like because they had that short cycle where they had to do Madden 25 for both consoles pretty quickly and with very little announcement, that Madden 15 is that game that should have been their first game out of that cycle. And I'm an eternal optimist. I think that they're going to have a good amount of growth in 16, but there are a lot of fundamental flaws that, legacy issues, like you said. But I think Madden 16 should be a better game, especially considering, like I said, they have so much space to work with. It's all a matter of, time allocation and development work and all that. But it does lack a lot in franchise. And if Joe Montana really is that game, I know I'll be playing both. Because you know what? Mud's great. It has its flaws, but people love it. And I've played football video games since 2002. I started with Madden, played NFL Fever, played NFL Street, played 2K before it ended. I played them all. And I always felt like Madden was a little bit behind, especially NFL Fever. I thought they killed it with the graphics, with the snow, with that sort of thing, especially 2003. And 2K was great, but for whatever reason, Madden got its license away from them. And so I think with some competition, Madden will continue to improve, but I give them a pass this year only with the sense that because they got the next-gen consoles kind of sprung on them and they had to kind of really patch together two games, because we all know Madden 25 was an abomination when it came to movement on next-gen. It was terrible. So I give them a pass. I think 16 will be a lot better. But if Joe Montana comes out with a game this summer and it really dives a lot deeper in the franchise, I know I'll buy both. And I'll see which one is better, because I'm not afraid to rip a game apart if it's lacking. I do it with every game. Doesn't matter what it is. And, it's just, you can't be biased when it comes to something like that, because it'll never get better. I'll let you guys talk about it. Thank you for having me on tonight. Great show, guys.
Thanks a lot for the call, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And I'm going to definitely give him one of these. Y'all don't know what that is. That's me clapping. But go ahead, Smitty. Take it away, man.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, I appreciate, what Sim's sentiment basically there, the unbiasedness. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to call a spade a spade. I'm going to call it for what it is. If it's good, cool. If it's bad, cool. Because I'm going to call it out on the carpet for what it's got and what it lacks. And that's what it's supposed to be about. You know what I'm saying? And even with him enjoying mud, if he enjoys mud, cool. We don't necessarily enjoy it. But this is the thing. He says he enjoys one aspect of the game, but then he talks about how the game is fundamentally flawed at the exact same time. So it's, you can enjoy a game and it still has problems. Just like NBA 2K and all these other series, these games are not perfect. They all have issues. They all drop the ball in some way, shape, or form. So you can't sit up here and just duck behind one series or one brand and just say, oh, all the games are terrible. They never do anything right. No, it happens with your favorite game too. It's just being able to call a spade regardless of what's going on. And that's it. So I love that. I love, his insight into how he delivered his message. It was very simple, but yet straight to the point and effective. That sentiment is very much what's lacking by a decent number of people out here, and I wish we had more of that. So I'll pass it back to you, Sim or Azura, on that.
Absolutely great call, man. You said it all right there. I mean, is this not what we do it for? This is it. This is a guy that sees it the same way we do, and we're all different minds. He just basically, it's almost like I was speaking through, he was speaking through my head. That's it exactly. It's either gonna be good or it's not. Madden is better. It's still flawed. It is just that simple. Like I told you guys, man, I could run off about 5 things that if it was fixed, Madden would be phenomenal. Maybe if we get time, I'll come back and give you the list. The list is actually getting shorter, believe it or not, as far as fundamental aspects. I'm not talking about everything else, bells. I'm talking about fundamental things. If they just could get those right, the game would be great. But we'll see. Hopefully competition will do that. Hint, hint. Damon Grow. So let's grab 931. We'll get you in. Absorb Fact will give you your reply. Thanks for calling, man. We got you in live. How you doing?
Doing all right. How about y'all?
We good, man.
What's up? Yeah, so I'm going to keep it pretty short, but I was wondering if y'all are aware of the Pasta Padre article that he posted 2 days ago, questioning the exclusivity and all that's on the post. But if you're not, I would like to read a little bit of what I see on here. It says, factually and logically, there are some things that work against the credibility of the story. And he goes on to quote the paragraph about the game being called Joe Montana NFL football and first party stipulations and all that. He says, this right here could be enough to discredit the entirety of the post. The NFL exclusive license that EA secured in 2005 and renewed multiple times has never allowed for a first party, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, to make a licensed game. That was the case in baseball. 2K Sports secured a third party license, but EA Sports had the full exclusive on consoles and PC. The agreement did not include mobile or social gaming, which is why many companies have secured licensing for games on mobile devices and Facebook. That being said, EA stealthily renewed the license again before it was set to expire following Madden NFL 25. The company dodged comment on the status of exclusivity in the agreement, which raised some eyebrows. It's possible the deal EA and the NFL has now is no longer exclusive. They floated the idea that something could have been in the works back then, as it would have explained EA's silence on the matter. So it sounds like from that there's a good possibility that even with the post that was on Operation Sports, that this might not be exactly. Also, there's on here about the release dates and all that, and it says there's a reason why the contracts in sports where there are competing titles specify restrictions on release dates. For example, MLB games cannot go out before the first Tuesday in March, while NBA games can't release prior to the first Tuesday in October. Otherwise, the fighting to be the first out of the gate would never end. An unlicensed game like All Pro 2K has the freedom to release whenever the publisher would desire. There's reason to be intrigued by what's going on with John Montana Football 16. However, it would not be wise to get invested in the project as though it will be some savior to those who have been dissatisfied with Madden. Everyone will root for more sports games and the competition that would create, but until there are some facts at hand, not just rumors with questionable credibility and motive, it's best not to get hopes up too high. So I just want to get your thoughts on that. Thanks.
Appreciate the call, man. I don't know if it's your first time calling in, but that 931 area code, if I'm not mistaken, is Tennessee. So what's up to my fellow Tennessean? And I appreciate the call and the information as well. And you're right. There's some, details there that seems like it would restrict from having a first-party NFL game. But at the same time, EA not being commented, because to me, if you're EA, you want to be braggadocious about having exclusive licensing. And the fact that they haven't says something to me. So, to be honest, I don't care if Joe Montana has the NFL or not, because like we said, we usually make that game if given the proper tools to make it an NFL game. But even if it is unlicensed, I'm still going to play it if it's a console game. Now, if it's a Facebook mobile game, hey, I support it, but I'm not really championing that. And the fact to me that they've reached out to the sim community, which is a console community, reading between the lines kind of says that it has console ties to it. So I don't know. And to be honest, I hate being strung along like this. I want some information 2 months ago, to be honest. And the fact that we haven't gotten that says a lot. But that guy is just a poster. We don't know. It's his first post. We're just hoping, that some of the speculation can be true. And we're just, kind of connecting the dots with the articles and the information that we've seen and heard. And like we said before, we know that they demoed the game. We know Damon Gross said the demoing went well. And in that post, it was confirmed the demoing. So that's why we think, there has to be some connection within the company to put that out, because it divulges information that the public wouldn't know. So I don't know. Let's just hope for the best, expect the worst. The best would be a console game, and like is mentioned in that post, the worst would be a mobile game or a Facebook game. And I'll pass it to Sam.
Yeah, man. You hit it. You said it all. It's like, and Pastor Padre, he's gonna have to say stuff like that. And I'm not saying to discredit what he said. What I'm saying is that that's what he does. He provides information, so I feel him on that. And I actually, when I saw that article, I said to myself, "Whoa, he makes some pretty good points as well." But that's the point of it all, just being speculation. Nobody knows. Even what he said, which is some of the things that probably has been valid through the years, I'll be fair and say he would know a little more because he's been more of a journalist type, more so than myself. He probably knows more of that stuff than I do as far as the dates and all that kind of stuff. But who's to say these things can't change? Who's to say? I don't know. But at the same time, he did bring it back to perspective, and he said, let's not get our hopes up too far until we know. And I think that's something that we can say to everybody. Until we know, don't go jumping for joy. And we see some of you guys out there in the community. Just stop it. Just stop it. I mean, you're looking pretty silly out here. Like, I'm just going to call it what it is. I mean, these dudes are campaigning. It's so ridiculous. Until you see something, I wouldn't even be campaigning like that, even if they confirm the article. I still got to see the game. I still need to see the game. So you're missing me with all of this overly campaigning because, like Smitty said, let's just suppose there's flaws in that game as well. I want to hear what y'all going to say. I already know what you're going to say. Well, it's the first year. Oh, Madden's been making games for 45 years. So what? Who cares? Like, we ain't on that no more. It's like Smitty said. Now, with these consoles, I don't care if it's the order. It's the first time I ever heard of an order 1886. And that game blows my socks off. I'm looking at it, the story, there's still stuff that's missing. I mean, the guns and all that is too good to just not have nothing else to play. But that game is great for what it is. It has its shortcomings, as far as some of the story, the cutscenes or what have you, but that's a year one product. And look at how it looks, and look how smooth it flows and transition. And so don't give me all of that first year stuff. I'll give you a slight pass, like we did with Backbreaker, but come on, it can't be a Backbreaker situation. Can't be like that. Right. This game got to be a lot better. But we do have, I believe this is VF again back in the queue. We got 5 minutes left, so we'll bring you back in real quick, man, and that'll probably wrap up the show. We got you back in. What you got?
Yeah, I'm back. How y'all doing once again? I understand what he was saying with that Pastor Padre, article, and it could have some truth to it. But like I said, not like I said, but earlier last year when we were looking for his license to be non-exclusive, they said EA has the license, and nobody said anything about exclusivity. So with that being said, the terms of them having the football game could be tremendously changed. Now you got an indie developer, indie company down to that thing right now. What is called GDC or something like that.
Yeah.
What an indie company doing down there? With something dealing with AAA titles, trying to show off high tech stuff, and just stuff like that. And with everything else that we are speculating, nobody's saying it's the gospel. I put it on the beginning of my video, speculation. That's all it is. I mean, there's just too many things lining up to make you have to honestly just pause and be like, okay, there's something here. I understand what Pastor Padre is saying. I understand what everybody else is saying. But once again, nobody knows anything. I mean, that's, at the end of the day, that's really what it is. Even though if he says that, EA does this, the release date that, one thing that I know is that the wording of the renewing of the license has changed. Nobody can confirm it's exclusive. Nobody has. EA is known for letting everybody know it's exclusive. What's so different now? Now you have Joe Montana playing with the smart glass on E3 last year. The rumor you said E3 that 2K or somebody could be coming out with a game, they probably wasn't ready. They pushed it back to this year. The mobile situation that Joe Montana was doing, now the mobile thing is actually a part of this so-called game. We know we're getting the game. Now all we need to know is what it's coming on. He said that it's not going to be on PC only. Well, man, I tied this stuff together already. I can't say it's true, but let's think a little bit. We're all not 3-4-year-olds. We can see some things here that be like, you know what? Even if it's not true, there's a case here where it could look true. Very, it's very compelling. That's all I got to say, man. I just wanted to know what your thoughts about that, even though Pastor Padre came out with that article.
Yeah, man. I think we're going to share your thoughts. Exactly what you said. Got about 2 minutes left, so I want to try to get this Twitter question real quick. But yeah, and if we could actually talk on that again, man. Maybe bring that back up next week. I think we all share how you feel on that. Who says that what he's saying is true? So it's all speculation. But the Twitter question comes from @Chi Lumbo. What's up, man? I know you've been sending us tweets a lot. He says, do you guys think so-called exclusive Xbox and PC will make Sony come back? And he says, shout out to the Sim community. I don't know about that. And I'm going to keep it real brief since we're short on time. I don't know about that only because if it is exclusive to Xbox and the reasons why we're saying it can be, I don't think it will extend to Sony. That's a position I'm going to take. So what you got real quick, Smitty, on that?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I agree with you fully on that. I mean, I feel it's the exact same way. If it's not like I think EA didn't extend. It's like I was saying earlier. If the conditions are limited, then it'll only be to just one company, and that's it. They probably don't want to have multi-platinum consoles able to use that license, especially when you got Madden that drops on all the consoles as well. So.
Yep, 45 seconds. AZ, you got something on that real quick?
Nah, man, we just know that, in the past as well, we've seen an NFL product drop in July. I don't know, man. We'll see. We don't know all the red tape that goes behind these deals.
Yeah, man. Well, I'll speak for the guys, man. We thank you guys for calling tonight. A lot of calls, a lot of participation. I know a lot of guys probably listened or will listen. Again, I'll try to get this up on YouTube for you guys. You can search this on iTunes as well, or you can come to Blog Talk Radio /SimStandard. And there you have it. We'll be back next week. Great show. And all we're going to do, like the rest of you guys, is keep our fingers crossed. So we'll see what happens. Thanks for everybody for listening and calling. See you next week.
Peace.
Joe Montana franchise. Don't forget, guys, every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, Sim Standard Radio. If you want to reach us, you can give us a call at 914-338-0794. For more content, click the link above.